quantities from the architect model preliminary. Start a new project using your Office template. Once template has been open the default 3D view. Now we wish to link in under the Insert tab, Link Revit, and we'd like to link in the Architectural RAC Advanced Sample Project at positioning origin to origin. Ensuring discipline is set to coordination. We are going to use this architectural information to quickly copy, monitor, or copy across some floors, walls, columns for our quantities. Under the Collaborate tab, Copy Monitor, selecting Link, selecting the architectural model. Go through the Options tab for columns, walls, floors as required. Then copy, multiple for tick. Now we were just working on one portion of the building just to save time in this demonstration. Just a crossing window over one corner of the building. Once selected, just checking your filters that some elements have been selected, and then finish. And then going to the final finish. If we now unload this architectural drawing, we go up to now Manage tab, Manage Links, selecting the architectural drawing and unload. We should be now left with just some structural information. We will now create a new material takeoff schedule with the information that we have copied across. Browser left hand side, right click on Schedule Quantities and New Material Takeoff. Using multi-category, this will allow us to select more than one category. The available fields we'd like to put in would be material volume, material area, level, family and type. As you can see, we now have columns, we have walls, we have floors. Then just go through your sorting and grouping. We'll be doing sorting and grouping by family and type. And we'd also like to have the grand totals adding up. For this to occur, under Formatting tab, selecting volume and area, and ensure Calculate Totals has been selected. Back under Sorting and Grouping, as a footer, just ensure there's a blank line just for ease of visualization. As you can see, all the columns, we've got a volume, we've got an area, all the walls are volume and area, and the ground floor are volume and area. Obviously going through, changing each relative floor to suit your project will, as required, will obviously increase the accuracy of your volumes. Now we have a base schedule set up. We're also going to add some additional information, which is costs. So first of all, let's go and duplicate our schedule. And we'll be calling this multi-category material takeoff cost. Going now to our fields area, we want to add the field cost. As you can see, it's currently is a blank cell. We also want to add a new calculated cell, which will be material cost, because this will be cost per unit. For example, the cost per unit or per cubic meter for the columns, this might be, as an example, $5.50. And yes. So now if we go back to fields and go to calculate value, we'll do this cost per column, and we'll be using volume, and we'll be using volume times, so star for times, and OK, and OK. So this is now calculating $5.50 times 0.49. Now obviously, seeing cubic meters, we can now drop this information out under the Format tab, selecting cost per column, at the same time calculate totals, but going to field format, unticking the use project settings and changing that to be none. And there's our cost. So changing any of these values, if this should have been $50, $155, 50 per cubic meter, then all of a sudden we're starting to get some information, actual cost per cubic meter. Having to create this information for each project can become quite tedious and slow. If we open our default 3D view, and in this case here we're going to use some pre-made schedules. So to use this, under the Insert tab, Insert from File, Insert Views from File, selecting Schedules Standards.rvt, this will open up some pre-made schedules. So for this example, let's select the following schedule: structural column material takeoff costs. And as you can see, this has already been pre-made, which is only using columns. A cost has been applied, so this could be pre-set up in your Office standards, and they're very quickly calculating the total values. Just to get columns, this is all controlled through the filtering process. Or in turn, it could be actually just a new schedule and actually only using structural columns. And as you can see, these results match the previous setup. 1631.12, 1631.12. That concludes Quantities from Architectural Model Prelim.